Alrighty, what's going on, boys? Fellow nerds, it's your boy Belton. We're going to be working on potentially the greatest. Thank you, chat. The greatest jewel, strongest jewel to ever exist in PoE. Heavy claim, but I did check the market, and it would be so. So what we're doing, the jewel Adorned, which we made a bit video about previously. You can see it's got a massive range, 50 to 150%. Effect of jewel socket passives containing corrupted magic jewels. Now, at the onset of this league, they had it so that any jewel that you had slotted outside of cluster jewels could apply. So rather than right here, for example, right, we have inspired learning, we could put a magic jewel in there. And if we did, you can get upwards of 150% increased value of the modifiers on that jewel. Now, 150% means times 2.5. Obviously, it's very important in PoE to remember that the game does not value or round up. It only takes full integers. So it's actually incredibly important to have 150% versus 149%, because let's say you have a 2% roll on the item, right? If you have 2%, it'll go up by times 2.5, which is 5%. Now, if you had 149% on the Adorned, it would round it down all the way to 4%. Oh, and we got a 400 divine sale. Solid. So with that in mind, it is incredibly important to get the Adorned roll at 150. You don't have to do that prior to crafting jewels for it, but you can see that these cost upwards of a mere 420 divs. Yeah, so about 420 divines each currently. And so they are very expensive. Luckily, on my part, I was able to buy buy two of them and make one of them for about an average cost of 100 divines or something. Much earlier on in the league. So that was the impetus for us taking a look at these magic jewels. And nice. That'll allow us to buy some more locks. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, back to the regular scheduled programming. So because of that, we decided to go look at magic jewels, right? Now, one of the things that perhaps some people are unaware of, I know a lot of the market hasn't really taken this into account yet, is that pretty much every item in the game can be a synthesis item, with the exception of, corrupted items and what are these things called again from Heist? Trinkets. But pretty much, yeah, everything else can have a synth mod on it. You can do that by manually synthesizing them right here. Right, so it's 5,000 yellow life force and 1 sacred life force, or you can get them from Uber Cortex, or you can get them from certain divination cards. But if you get 3 synthesis mods, right, onto a magic item, it can still remain magic, right? So that means that this jewel, which is typically in its inception scaling only 2 modifiers, by having a triple synth item, you can actually be scaling 5 modifiers. Now, because it also has to be corrupted, the best thing that you can do with a corrupted jewel is to get a corrupted implicit, right? But with a corrupted implicit, you don't want the corrupted implicit to replace a synthesis implicit, because the synthesis implicits typically are far stronger. And that's where a gilded fossil is going to come into handy. So the gilded fossil is the one that, if you've ever seen this before, right here, for example, the 4th line of text that says item sells for much more to vendors. If you have that modifier on your item and you use a Vol Orb, the Vol Orb will have a 1 in 4 chance to add a corrupted implicit, and because you now have a series of 4 implicits, the Vol Orb can have a corrupted mod that can replace the line of text item sells for much more to vendors, instead of replacing a synthesis implicit. So with that being done, that means that you can actually have 6 modifiers on a magic jewel instead of just having the 2 that is more conventional. And so you can see here, we've got 3% attack speed with bows, 5% crit multi with bows, 5% attack and cast speed during onslaught, the gilded fossil, 12% crit multi, and 40 max life. Now, with 150% adorned equipped, that would go to 7% attack speed with bows, 12% crit multi with bows, 12% attack speed with onslaught, 12% cast speed during onslaught. It would scale up whatever corrupted implicit you get by 2.5x. The 12 crit multi will go to 30 crit multi, and the 40 flat life will go to 100 flat life. So in totality, you would get 42% crit multi, 100 flat life, 19% attack speed, and 12% cast speed, and then whatever your corrupted implicit might be. Assuming it replaces the gilded fossil, that would also get scaled up. So taking a look at what the options could be here, there are 21 in total. They're all weighted the exact same, 1,000 weight. The best ones probably are 2% increased reservation efficiency of skills. So if you got that, it would be 5%. 10% global crit chance, which would go to 25%. 7% increased effective non-damaging ailments, which would go to 17%. 5% damage, which would go to 12%. And then you could also get corrupted blood, which doesn't scale, unfortunately, but is still a very good mod. And then damage penetrates 1% of elemental res. Would also be very good, but it doesn't take full advantage of the 2.5 times multiplier because, as I mentioned, it only takes round numbers. So the 1% would go to 2%, which, I mean, 2% pen is still exceptional. And then there are other options here, but avoid being shocked is another one that you might consider, especially if you're using Storm Shroud. Any one of these obviously is good in a general sense, but because we're going to be using Hinakora's locks, right, that overrides the variance or like the luck element that is typically required using a Vol Orb. And so because we have enough Hinakora's locks, we can basically deterministically, assuming we don't run out of currency, use Hinakora's lock and Vol Orb until we get the corrupted mod that we want, and making sure that the corrupted implicit replaces the item sells for much more to vendors. Doing so would allow this to be the best jewel in the game, hands down. So that's our ambition for today. Another thing to mention is that this is a perfect synthesis combo. I mentioned this in our previous video when we mirror crafted the jewel that we did the other day, this one here. But attacking cast bleed during onslaught is one of the rarest jewels that one of the rarest synthesis mods that you can get. If we take a look at the overall market, there's only about 3 of them in the entire league across all the base types. Now, we also have the perfect 5% crit multi with bows and 3% attack speed with bows. You can also get you can get global crit multi and global attack speed, but they're both 1% lower. So instead of 5% crit multi with bows, it would be 4%, and instead of 3% attack speed with bows, it would be 2%. So this is literally the absolute perfect setup right here. So it's pretty exciting. If we end up getting this, we would have, bar none, the perfect, the best jewel in the game as it stands currently, and it'd be a pretty cool thing to have hit. So wish us luck. With that being said, I think we're ready to get started. So we'll pull all this stuff out here, and we'll get going. Now, one of the things I'm going to hover on this one is just a Regal Orb. I'm kind of curious to see if we were to Regal it, if we could get like a perfect rare jewel perfect rare jewel. Sorry, rare jewel third mod. That's just more out of curiosity, in the same vein as when I hover with a Vol Orb on the items where I have no intention of using a Vol Orb. This time we're remixing it basically by doing the complete opposite. And because we actually just made that sale, which was, in case anyone's curious what that sale was, it was a Simplex Amulet, item level 85 or higher, which is important because item level 85 is required to get tier 1 quantity. And it's also clean, which means that you can put whatever influence type you want on this, or if you really wanted to, you could fracture it as well. And so that's, 394 divs, but that'll allow us to buy 20 more Hinakora's locks right there if we need to. And then we've also got a Mirror of Kalandra, which is 715 divs, so that's another 36 locks. So we could get another 56 locks plus 73, 129 locks if we want to. Now, because a Vol Orb has a 1 in 4 chance to hit an implicit, and then because there are 4 synthesis implicits, four implicits total, and we only want to remove one of them, that means that we have a 1 in 16 chance. It'll take 16 Vol Orbs and 16 Hinakora's locks on average to replace the item sells for much more to vendors with a Vol implicit. As I mentioned, we have about 5 different implicits that would be acceptable, quote unquote acceptable. So with 21 in total, that means it's about a 1 in 4. I think actually I might have mentioned 6 implicits. So, but either way, 1 in 3 or 1 in 4. So that we're considering ones that we would stop at. And then multiply that, of course, by the fact that it takes 16 on average, means that we're looking probably around 48 to 64 Hinakora's locks here on average to get an implicit that we want. The Hinakora's locks currently are 20 divines each, so that would be 720 to 960. So about a mirror or to a mirror and a half on average to get what we're looking for here. And then the total cost of the jewel up until this point was probably around, a mirror or so too, with vivid vultures and prey chicks and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's all the information that's needed. I'll move my face over here so I'm not blocking the hovers. Make sure that you guys can still see the mods. Yep. All right. Let's get started. Wish me luck. All right. First of all, orb, no effect. Unfortunately, the one thing we do have to do this time, and it won't be very difficult, but we do actually have to make sure we get the blessed orb perfect each time, because we can't obviously bless it after, like normally when we're crafting the jewel we did the other day or something like this, you can use the blessed orb to get rid of the Hinokora's lock, and then you just blessed it after, the exalts or the regal or whatever it is that you're using the lock for hits, because when we actually hover with the ball orb and get the mod we won't be able to modify it afterwards at all. We got to make sure that we bless it perfectly each time. So two times, no effect. Luckily for us, though, the range on this, the attack speed with bows is static, and it's 4 and 5 and 4 and 5, so it only takes 4 blessed orbs on average. So it's not a very big deal, but something we got to remember to do. Okay, that's 3 in a row where the vol orb has no effect. Oh, you cannot be cursed with silence. Okay, so that replaced, in this case there, that replaced attack speed with bows. As I mentioned, we're only considering ones that... we're only considering ones that replace the gilded fossil. Maybe for the people that are following or watching along in Twitch chat here, maybe you guys can give me a live count. So why don't we count how many times we hit implicits? So we've hit 1 implicit so far. If somebody can just type in chat each time and just type out the number as it's going progressively, because I'll have a hard time keeping track mentally. So we're at 1. Thank you. We gotta go 3, 5, 5 each time. Okay, that turns it rare. It's the first time the rare option's been given. Rare again. Oh, okay, there's implicit number 2. Chance to avoid bleeding, but it did not replace the item cells for much more to vendors. Okay, rare again. Oh, okay, there's our first one, boys. All right. Overwhelm 2% of physical damage reduction. And it replaced the gilded fossil. So there's implicit number 3. And the number 1, that's the first time that we have replaced the gilded fossil with the corrupted implicit. But as you can see there, that's the intention. But that's not a mod that we're looking for. Overwhelming fizz damage reduction. This is obviously targeted for bow builds, but even if you're playing a fizz bows are going to be, either a pure Ellie based or they're going to be fizz being typically 100% cold conversion. So that mod is actually pretty much useless. And it's also, relative to the other ones, not that strong. Oh, look at that. We just regaled. We would have regaled into T1 fizz damage with attacks. Oh my god. Oof. That's the prefix one too. If you guys recall the other day when I was crafting the that mirror jewel, the mirror jewel that we did for the bow build, it took me forever to get T1 fizz damage to bow attacks. And yeah, it was as Twitch chat's pointing out right now, it was perfectly defined. Actually, you know what I can do? Do I still have it up? Oh, no, I don't. I was gonna say I could put up. I used to be able to put up an overlay. I thought maybe for the people who are watching this on YouTube, it might be somewhat interesting to see what Twitch chat is saying during the videos, so I don't seem as crazy. Oh, okay. You could not be hindered. That's what, number 4? It was to claw attacks. Yeah, that's because that's why we're using this base. Sorry to clarify. Pointing out a chat. Someone in the chat was saying it was fizz damage to claw attacks, not fizz damage to bow attacks. They're the same. They're the same weighting. The reason why we mirror crafted this jewel, which is a searching eye, and not this jewel, and the reason why we're using this jewel for the adorned is because murderous eye jewels cannot roll bow prefixes. Only searching eye jewels can. So searching eye jewels can roll staff, claw, sword, right? So that's why. That is why we did not use this for the quote unquote mirror jewel. And because it's a magic item, and because we're using life and multi, the fact that it is a murderous eye jewel has no bearing, right? Because we're not concerned with the fact, because we're not using the fizz damage to attacks. That would be if we were to make this a rare one, we would potentially use that as the second prefix, but we are not going to be using it with the adorned. And so there's no loss by crafting this as an adorned jewel. The fact that it is a the fact that it is a murderous eye is no potential loss. Whereas if we were to have used this as an adorned jewel, it would have been a loss because we can craft it perfectly because it can get those bow attack modifiers. Okay, so this is our, what one is that? Okay, 22%. Yeah, Max, I couldn't care less about that right now. Not an appropriate time. Middle of a recording. Okay, so this is number 5 for our implicits. Oh my god. Oh. Oh no, chat. Oh no. Oh. We hit RMR, guys. YouTube spam F. YouTube spam F. Oh god, that's a 1 in 84 corruption. It takes 84 locks and whatever on average. However, it would take 336 to get it to replace the item cells from other vendors. Someone on YouTube right now, or sorry, on Twitch chat for the folks on YouTube just said wrong hole, and I want to laugh very loudly at that comment because that's hilarious. Sorry for any children. Don't look that up, but that's a very funny comment. Just for YouTube folks, you know I'm not insane. Okay, I want to just laugh diabolically for no reason. RMR, we got it once. Replaced. What did it replace there? The attack speed with bows. Too bad. We got a screenshot just for evidence. Oh, how many was that? That was number 6. That was our 6th implicit. Come on. 1 and 4. There we go. Rare. Someone in Twitch chat is asking why I bother hovering with the Regal Orb each time. And the reason is just a general curiosity. Because Hinakora's locks are quite expensive, for me, it's just, I think it's interesting to see what it would potentially give. Because, you know, there are so many things that can possibly be, you know, hovered over to see what would happen, right? Even when I'm crafting mirror items, I often do it with a Vol Orb just to see what could have been, right? It's not because I have any intention to craft it out. It's just, you know, because you're spending so much each time with the locks, might as well at least get like a little 5-second dopamine hit to see what could have been. Okay, no effect. Strengthen it. The craziest one I've ever had by the way, guys, when I was crafting this bow, I hovered it with a Vol Orb, and +1 arrow replaced items sells for much more to vendors. Except it was when I was using Hinakora's locks to get the very last suffix, the T1 attack speed. So obviously I couldn't do it, but it cost like 5,000 Vol Orbs and Hinakora's locks to get that on average. So that was a pretty cool moment. Maybe I could post a YouTube short of that sometime if people want to see that video. And let me know in the comments below for the YouTube folks if that's something you want to see. The VOD or the you know, the clip of that hover. Okay, there's go. Another implicit. Overwhelm 2% fizz damage reduction. Did not replace the guild fossil, so I think that's number 7. Yep. Number 7, thank you, chat. Oh, there we go. Number 8, chance to avoid being frozen. Again, did not replace the gilded fossil, so we've only had one so far that's replaced the gilded fossil. Because that was our 8th implicit, right? So 1 and 4 will replace the gilded fossil. So on average, we would have had 2 that happened twice so far. But obviously, with the, you know, with with only 8 implicits, it's not going to distribute completely evenly. Well, I mean, in all likelihood. No! Oh, another time! Shit! Damage penetrates 1% elemental resistances. That's another one of the ones we would have kept. That would have given us 2% pen, which would have been so good. But it didn't replace it. How many is that? That's 9? 9 times now? Alright, so that's implicit number 9. That's the second one, so we'll keep track of this as well. So we've had the item, the gilded fossil replaced once, and we've hovered over 2 implicits that we would have kept if it had replaced. Oh, that's a really nice, damn, fizz damage as extra flyer. Whew. That'd be 10% fizz as extra if it were used with the Adorned. But yeah, of course, especially after this event, we're not accepting anything that does not replace the gilded. So we're at 9 total implicits anyways. Oh, you know what I'll do? I was just thinking in my head, in case if we don't end up getting the right one after, instead of me stopping, or well, in the middle of a YouTube video, stopping to go and stopping and making sales in the sorry, yeah, stopping to go and buy a bunch of locks at the end of this in case it doesn't work out. I'll put up a buy order, and that way, you know, we can potentially just not have to leave our hideout and just wait in a more reactive fashion. So if we don't get it, the video doesn't have to have a 2 or 3 minute pause in between of me buying things. I suppose I could always just make it into a two-parter video, but I feel like that's gratuitous. If we do end up doing that, maybe I'll put it in timestamps just so that people can skip ahead. If we do end up having to go do some purchasing. Oh my god, we got RMR again! Oh! 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 That's a 1 in 84 we've got twice. Oh. So the first time it replaced attack speed with bows. Second time it replaced 5% crit multi with bows. God damn, that's irritating. Take a screenshot of that again, just in case I need any. Oh, sorry. What's that? Wrong hole again. Chat says. There's only one hole left. Chat. God, you guys are perverts. YouTube folks. This is why I don't stream to YouTube as well. The guys on Twitch are all perverts. I don't want to expose you to their smut. Okay, so sorry, I forgot to do the total count. So that's the 10th. That was the 10th implicit we've hit. We've still only had one implicit replace the gilded fossil. And we've hit the mods, 3 of the implicits that we would have kept. So, on average, we would hit 4 of the implicits that we want to keep, right? Because it's a 1 in 4. So, on average, it would take us 1 more there. With 10, we should have hit 2.5, replacing the gilded fossil. Not should have. It's not like there's some cosmic sense of right or wrong, but you know, with an average distribution. Okay, there we go. There's another one, number 11. Chance to avoid being poisoned, but it also did not replace the gilded fossil. Oh shoot, I don't have my whispers on. Okay, clear my chat. Now my whispers are on. Thank you guys for the nice DMs and stuff, but just not while I'm mirror crafting or while recording YouTube videos, please. But I do appreciate the kind words. Oh my god, corrupted blood! Mother flare! God damn it. Okay. Guys, please. I just said this. Please don't. Not while I'm crafting. Not while I'm recording. Please. Okay. Corrupted blood. So that's the 4th one, right? We got RMR twice. Elemental pen once. And now corrupted blood. This time it replaced the attack speed again. Corrupted blood is actually, like, of the ones I would keep, corrupted blood is the worst one, to be fair, because it doesn't scale at all off the Adorned. It's an important thing to have, but like getting that, for example, on like an inspired learning is a much better option. So I'm not too upset about that one. That being said, of course, if we did have that hit, we'd still probably keep it because it is incredibly useful. The thing is too, because No! 5% damage! Oh! Oh, that's another one. So that's the fifth one we would have kept. 5% damage would be great. That's 12. That's just 12% increased damage. It applies to all damage types too. So since we're playing LU like ignites and stuff. God damn. All right. So what's the count at now? That's number 13. I lost track of it. So that's number 13 total implicits. All right. That is the fifth one we've hit that we would have kept, and we have still only hit. We've still only hit one. That has replaced the gilded fossil. People in Twitch chat are asking why not to message me, because I don't want to misclick, guys, and it's kind of it's very distracting, and I'm also I need to kind of focus on this, and it can derail me from what I'm talking about. We're recording this for YouTube and stuff, so please just don't DM me during this. Fair warning, if it keeps happening, I'm just gonna put you guys on ignore. But hopefully, just me requesting nicely is enough of a reason to do so. All right, so keeping going here. I know if in case anyone's about to comment on Twitch or somebody watching this on YouTube why don't you just put on D&D? And it's because I have... Oh, fuck me! Okay, there's number... that's the sixth one that we would have kept. That is the 14th implicit. And we have still only hit one that has replaced the gilded fossil. On average, we would have hit close to 4 of them replacing the gilded fossil now. The reason why I don't put on D&D is because I have several mirror items for sale, and I don't want to miss a mirror service, especially because for a couple of the mirror items, there's other people's money that's involved, right? And so, one of the advantages that TFT has is that they're online 24/7, and they can service all their items at all hours. That's not the case for me. I obviously have to sleep at times and stuff, so I don't want to miss someone that is messaging to get a mirror item. And sometimes these videos are, hour and a half, 2 hours long, whatever it is. So that's a very long time. If I'm sitting at the computer for 10 or 12 hours playing, to cut myself off from 10% of the potential sales hours, so to speak, that's pretty foolish. All right. In a general sense, though, I would just appreciate it if people, on Twitch, for the folks on Twitch, if I ask you guys nicely and explain why, I would hope that for most of you that would be enough. Okay. Looks like I've posted a few videos now to YouTube for the YouTube folks where I've been doing these locks, and every single time we've done it, we've hit it right at the end, right? Like we did with the bow, with the jewels, all that was always at the end. Okay, here we go. Number 2, chance to avoid being ignited. This is the first time. This is the second one that's replaced the gilded fossil. It's not one that we're going to keep. But that means we've hit 15 now. That's 15 total implicits. That's 2 that have replaced the gilded fossil. And there have been 6 that we would have kept had they replaced the gilded fossil. I know it's at 15, not 16. Can somebody type 15 in chat so I don't get distracted by the person who just wrote 16? Thank you. 15 and 16 too? Okay, perfect. Thanks, chat. Sorry, for the guys watching on YouTube after when I post this, I will look into getting an overlay, so when I make videos, maybe I can have Twitch chat right here, so you guys can kind of follow along to the cross conversation that I'm having. Obviously, when I'm doing a guide, like the last video I made on how to not be poor, I think I titled it. Well, no, that's right. That was the thumbnail. But the one on how to make 100 chaos into 10 div. That's like an instructional guide, right? So at every point, I'm speaking with, it's like what am I saying? There's intention behind everything I'm saying at every time. Like when I go to make an action, I'm speaking as to what's happening. When you're doing mirror crafting like this, especially with locks, obviously, it's not like I can, at a certain point, there's no more advice to be given about what's going on. It's just a matter of riding it out. But again, as I've mentioned in the past, I think it's kind of important so that people see the whole process instead of just showing you guys a clip of when I do hit it. I find that these longer form crafting videos can be I don't know if they're more exciting necessarily, but definitely more useful to getting a good grip on what amount of currency and effort and time goes into it. All right, so that was number 16. 16, 6, and 2. Okay. Oh my god, crit chance. Oh, the 7th one we would have kept. Ah. Okay, 7 times we've hit ones that we would keep. 0 times have they replaced the gilded fossil. So that's 17, 7, and 2. So 17 total implicits. 7 we would have kept. 2 that have replaced the gilded fossil. That means that we're above every single time I record one of these videos. We go above the average. Classic. But by the same token, though, every time I've recorded one of these videos, we've ended up hitting what we want. So, I mean, come on, RNGesus, don't let me down. Consistency's key. I don't mind spending when I say a bit extra might be an understatement. I will vigorously pursue my goals until I complete them, but by the same token, of course, I would prefer for them for my own wallet's sake, and also for the sake of people watching on YouTube, because I'm sure, watching like 45 minutes of me clicking locks might not be the most exciting thing in the world, but mostly for the sake that it would be nice one time to have something fall on the more favorable end of variance. Okay, there's another one. That's what, 18, 7, and 2. 18th implicit. Oh my god. Ugh, corrupted blood again. 19, 8, and 2. How have we hit 19 implicits and only 2 of them have replaced the correct one? Oh my god. So 19 times we've hit implicit modifiers. 9 of those have been 9 of them have been the ones that or sorry, is it 8? No, it's 8. Okay, 19, 8, and 2. So 8 times we've hit ones that we would have kept had they replaced the gilded. Twice we've replaced the gilded, but it was with ones we did not want, and that is our 19th time hovering an implicit. On average, we would have the next implicit we hit. It would be, because that'll be our 20th implicit. On average, we would have hit 5 times by now. Had 5 gilded fossil replacements. Luckily, we've got a lot more currency, so we can kind of reload. If there's anyone watching in chat right now, guys, that has currency on them, they could pick up locks for me, because we only have 5 left. I can pay for them, of course, but just so that there's less time, because we are recording this for YouTube, it would be, I'll pay you in full, but just so that there's less time in between in case we don't hit it in the next 4. That'd be sweet. For the YouTube folks, if that does happen, apologies. All right, one left. Rip. All right, so that's 73 Hinakara's locks down. From the 73 locks we had, okay, 73 locks led us to what? 19 total implicits. 19 total implicits, and we got 8 of ones that were on that list of desirables. And let's see if anybody's selling them in somewhat bulk. I don't mind paying a little bit more if they have extra. This guy's got 5. 22 is 2 divines extra. All right, we'll pay what's that? 40 times 2, 80 extra divines, just so you guys don't have to wait as long. Omega Tink. Do you have change for a mirror? Wait, how much can we afford total? 710 plus, that's 1110. Okay, 1110 is... Oh, these guys have lots, okay. 1110. Okay. Oh, you're watching stream, Elevator? Okay, cool. You can give me 120? My man! Oh, give me back what you don't use? Oh, okay, cool. So I can pay you after just so that the thing is faster? Is that what you're saying? Like, just pay whatever. Yeah, that's perfect. If you don't mind, that'd be great. $21.9. You can have 22. Consider it a tip. Thanks, pal. Okay. Elevator for the YouTube guys. Thank Elevator. Saving us a little bit of the colloquial friction, as Chris likes to call it. All right. Okay, so we had 73 previously, so we're at 193. What was the other one that I was using? A Regal. Okay, 193 locks total. Let's just get rid of the Regal. I think we actually hit one of the rarest things that we could have anyways, so there's not really anything that's of interest there anymore. Oh, okay. Overwhelm Fizz Reduction. That's number 20. So we're at, what's the split right now? For people on YouTube, I'm just going to say what the split is. So when I say the split, the first number will be how many implicits. The second number will be how many implicits we would have kept had they replaced the Gilded Fossil. And the third number will be the amount of times we've had an implicit replace the Gilded Fossil. So 20, 8, and 2. So 20 being total amount of implicits, 8 being the amount that have rolled one we would keep but in the wrong place, and 2 being the amount that have replaced a Gilded Fossil. And again, we just hit number 20, which means we would have replaced the Gilded Fossil 5 times on average, and we're at 2. So we are at 40% of what average would be. So we are 2.5 times unluckier than normal. Classic! Oh my god. Okay, wait. I gotta take my hand off the shift key. I was holding shift. When I was hovering there, I was holding shift, which is obviously what you do when you want to, chain click something. Spam click it. So keep the left hand away. Oh. Oh. Yeah, this is much faster at least. Okay, there's Ignite. Chance to be ignited. Yeah, you guys are so happy that the Regal got removed. Shit. That's because I'm so regal. Alright? I don't want it to take away any of the shine. Make way for the king! 20. Okay, so we're at 21, 8, and 2. Thank you, chat. King James, baby. The King James Bible. Preaching the word of our Jesus. Man, we haven't got any implicits. Or no, one. We got one implicit. No, two. Two so far. Two. With this new round of locks, that is. Getting a lot of rares. We've got the rare jewel several times. Do I want 124 of those? Sure. I had like 300 of them. I certainly wasn't anticipating having to use that many, but it is what it is. If it were easy, everyone would do it. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Mucho gracias, señor. Done. Another rare. God damn. Oh my god, non-damaging ailments. Okay, so we're at 22, 9, and 2. 22, 9, and 2. Somebody put 9 more locks for me in the guild stash. That's nice of you. Thank you. 22, 9, and 2. So, okay, we'll put 9 more locks on. So that means, how many locks? I'll mark it down in here just so I can remember. So we did 73 plus 120. Oh. 73 plus 120 plus 9. So that's 82. We're at 202. So 202 divided by 16. This is how many times. That means on average we should be seeing almost 13 implicits that replace the gilded fossil. There are 21 total implicits for corrupted mods, which means we should be seeing the ones that we want, because we want a list of 6 out of 21, right? So let's see, 6 divided by 21. We've got 28% chance, so roughly 1 in 4. So we should be seeing the... Okay, and then, 12.62 times 0.285. We should be seeing, yeah, almost 4 times. Almost 4 times we should be getting at least one of the ones that we want. Okay. Thank you for the help, guys. I appreciate it. All right, what was the split again? 22, 9, and 2. 22, 9, and 2. The fact that we only have 2 so far is crazy. Crazy. Like, that's such bad. Like, this isn't like a woe is me pity party kind of thing, but just in a general observation of to have only 2 from 22 is pretty crazy bad luck. Especially considering, like, literally every time that we've posted that I do one of these videos. Oh my god, no way! Why have you scorned me, oh Father? That's our 3rd time getting RMR. That's a 1 in 84. And we've done it 3 times. Which means even in the amount of times that we've had 3% RMR, we've had a 75% chance of having it replace the correct mod. It's the only one that it has not replaced. 3 times, only one it hasn't replaced is a gilded fossil. Oh my god. This game sometimes. At least I have a video to angrily spam at somebody in the YouTube comments next time they just tell me I'm getting lucky. And everyone knows the primary point of the internet is to prove your point. And to cede no ground. Logic? Logic does not exist here, peasant. Alright, penetration, 1%. That's what she said. What are we at now? That's 24, so 25, 11, and 2. 25, 11, and 2. Holy shit. Okay. We've hit 25, so now we should have hit the gilded fossil 6 times, and we've only hit it twice. When it should have been a 6, but it only ends up as a 2. That's also what she said. Get wrecked, get wrecked, get wrecked, get wrecked. Get wrecked, get wrecked. What is this, like a fucking wealth tax? Get out of my fucking RNG, AOC. Alright? Fucking Bernie Sanders is in my... What are we at now? 26, 11, and 2. Could you corrupt... sorry, somebody in Twitch chat for the people on YouTube is asking if you can corrupt... sorry, if you can mirror corrupted items. The answer is no. And so that there's no potential long-term earnings from this item outside of potentially selling the base, like the original item itself, which I'm obviously not going to do because it'll be the best jewel in the game. And that's pretty, like, you know, currency to me can always be remade, but being the first at something or making the best of something is in terms of drive, like things that motivate me, that's I think that's a lot cooler, right? And also the Adorned is a new thing, and ooh, that's pretty cool. $27, 11, and 3. No, it's not 12 and 3. It's 11 and 3. Silence is not one that's on the list of keeping. If it were 12 and 3, that would mean that the second number and the third number cannot go up at the same time, because if they did, that means that we've hit the one that we want. Right? That's cool, though. Cannot be cursed with silence. Silence comes from the ghosts, like ghost busting. If you were a ghost buster, that'd be crazy. But we're also, because it's attack speed with bows and crit multi with bows, silence is not super silence is not super important because it's not a spell anyways. Major time to ground control. Normally, for people on YouTube watching again, normally when I would do crafting sessions like this, I would have some tunes playing and just kind of vibe out to that. But the copyright stuff, I think it's DMCA on YouTube, is very, very strict. If you have like more than like 3 seconds of copyrighted music playing, they demonetize the whole video. Chance to avoid being shocked. There's another one that we said was keepable. So that's 28, 12, and 3. 28, 12, 3. Chance to avoid being poisoned, 29, 12, and 3. Oh. Cannot be hindered is quite good too. Okay, 30, 12, and 4. Cannot be hindered does not. Again, the ones where it says you cannot be, those are better to get on like corrupt or like unique jewels and stuff. The primary purpose of the Adorned obviously is to scale the mods that can already be rolled, right? So we want something that has an integer value. I'd probably keep Corrupted Blood just because it's so much more important than the other ones, but it's kind of a waste, especially given the fact that we've now spent like several mirrors on Hinakora's locks to stop with something that doesn't really even take advantage of the function of the Adorned. Oh, there we go, another one. 31, 12, and 4. 31, 12, and 4. Corrupted Blood. Yeah, no, the ones where it says you cannot be, though, that's much better to get on something like Inspired Learning or even just a cheaper, any kind of cheaper, like Thread of Hope or something like that, right? Because the whole point of the Adorn is that it scales it by times 2.5x, so to have one that doesn't scale at all is kind of antithetical. Even though it might be good, and obviously could still make it better, it's like, and it's obviously better than not having it or just having it go no effect, right? If you're actually going for perfection or whatever, you want to have, 5% AoE. That's a really good one as well, but obviously not one that we need on a bow-based jewel. But that's very efficient though. If you get 5% AoE, that's 12% area of effect from a jewel implicit. That's really good. So that's what we're at: 32, 12, and 4. 32, 12, and 4. Ooh, 5% AoE again. Would you make a profit on this? That's not a very thoughtful question. Kind of a dumb question. One I also just addressed. Well, first of all, and actually, no, I'm not going to backpedal. Somebody in chat can answer that question. I just explained that. 33, 12, and 4. Okay. 5%. That was a 5% AoE again. As I mentioned, it's a cool mod, but not one we're. Oh my god. Ah, perfectly rolled element effect. Ay, 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 ay. So that puts us to 33, 13, and 4. So we now on average would have hit more than 8 gilded fossils. And given the fact that we've hit 13 of ones that we wanted, we would have on average hit at least 3 times by now. It would have to be far more than 5 mirrors to sell this for profit. For some context, we've used 202. Just the Hinakora's locks are at 6 mirrors. We've used 6 mirrors of Hinakora's locks. Not to mention the Krachix and the divines, and like the divines needed to divine the prefixes, or the explicits, plus the Krachix and vultures needed to get the perfect combo. And not to mention all the time I spend as well. My time is pretty valuable on a cost accounting basis. Okay, so we got that one. So no, none of that. But I just mentioned a few minutes ago, in case the person who was asking that just popped in. I was saying that this is one of those crafts that. Oh! 10% damage. 10% damage. That's like the best. That's the best DPS mod you can have, right? Oh my god. Because like RMR is very good, right? 2% RMR, but that's not DPS oriented. Crit chance is hard capped. Ailment effect is it makes freeze last longer and shocks whatever, but that's actually like in terms of actual damage, I think that's the best one. Let's double check this. Okay, there's also penetration. So yeah, damage or pen. But penetration, because I'm Omni, you already have like 2% pen. So the relative, like you get DR on that. But in terms of raw damage, that is definitely the best damage, right? Because these are all avoidance. AoE is a utility. Non-damaging ailments wouldn't matter. Crit chance, hard cap on that. Corrupted blood doesn't scale. So yeah, pen would be the only thing that would be able to compete with that. So, with that being said, chat, let's give her a countdown for the greatest jewel of all time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom! Perfection. Oh, man. So, for anyone watching along here, especially for the folks on YouTube who decided to stick us out for the ride, I will break down now for you what this provides. All right, so 4% damage goes to 10% damage. Then the 3% IAS with bows is 7% IAS with bows. The 5% crit multi is 12% multi. The 5% IAS with the onslaught is 12% IAS. The 5% cast speed is 12% cast speed. The 12% crit multi is 30% multi. And the 40 life is 100 life. So in total, we have 42% multi, 100 flat life, 19% attack speed, 10% damage, and a 12% cast speed from one jewel. Now, if we were to make a couple more of these on a one passive voices, we're talking about 84, 126% multi, 300 flat life, 57% IAS, 30% damage, 36% cast speed, and that would be for 7 points. So the per point efficiency, so each point in that scenario, be 18 multi, this is per point, 18 multi, 43 life, 8% attack speed, % damage, and then 5% cast speed. So imagine where you had, imagine seeing a, what's a thing that takes 7 points. Imagine coming up here and instead of like going up in there and taking a mastery, it was, you saw travel nodes that were 18% multi, 43 life, 8% attack speed, 4% damage, and there were 7 of them in a row. That's just wild. Not to mention, you can use 2 of them, right? Because we can put a 1 passive voices, 3 of those right there, 1 passive voices, 3 of those right there. Oh man, that's so good. Also, it would, you know, one of the things where bow builds tend to be lacking is in defensibility. That the, you know, pretty glass cannon, that's the traditional archetype. The amount of flat life that you would get, like 300 flat life, right, from just 3 jewels. I mean, even the 100 flat life. Like, let's equip this here. All right, let's take a look. Oh, I can't take that out. Okay. All right, we've got 2,796, 2978, and I have like no points in life. So that gives us over 200 life per jewel. So you would get you'd get 600 life, maybe even higher, because I don't have any points in life because my character is only level 93. So you probably get around 250 life per, so 750. You get 1,500 bonus life from what you would normally have. So you probably get around 4 or 5, like 4,500 or 5,000 life pretty easily by using those. But that is very, very cool. What's our final cost here? So we had let's see, 202 minus 83. It ended up costing 119 Hinakora's locks. 3.4 mirrors to get that last mod there. And, you know, for anyone that's been around PoE for a while, you'll know that it is absolutely mandatory to link things in global chat. Because why play the game if you can't flex and go? Well, all right, so for YouTube folks, that took an hour, but hey, hopefully you enjoyed. There we go, man. Best jewel in the game, and guess what? There's more coming. We've got another 150% right there. We only need one of them, but you can see here we've got attack and cast speed with onslaught, attack and cast speed with onslaught. Here we've got crit multi with attack speed with bows, and 5%. Got 5% attack speed with bows. Here we've got crit multi and rarity. We got the global crit multi there. We've got global crit multi here. Crit multi and attack speed with bows. Global crit multi and attack speed with bows. Attack speed with bows and crit multi. So you can see we got a lot more in the works. And then of course the one that we crafted yesterday, the mirror jewel. So we're definitely going to pull some cool stuff out of the bag. And then we might even consider doing something along the lines of an Abyss jewel stacking build with, you know, Darkness and Throne, Replica Shroud, maybe an Abyss socket on 2 rares, either, you know, boots and gloves most likely, or in oops, sorry, something cool with you know, Light Poacher 2. Light Poacher is incredibly passive. So chat was doing how much did it cost? So 3.4 times 3 plus 1 passive voices. 3.4 was just the cost of the locks. That does not account the multiple mirrors I spent rolling the implicits. So it would be more than that. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed that. If you like this kind of video and the crafting and stuff for the YouTube folks, let me know below. I've been overwhelmed a little bit with the response rate recently. In the past like 5 days, I've got almost like 2,000 subscribers, which I super appreciate. We're coming up close to 1 year since I started posting YouTube videos, and we're, you know, getting close to almost to 18K now. I think like a super ambitious goal for me for the month of January would be try and hit 20,000. So if you like this kind of stuff, or if you want to see some more future guides, please you know, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it, and if not, that's cool too. Either way, I'll see you guys next time. God bless and peace.